Okay, book club. A vampire book. What's a drink that I could do for a vampire book? Well, something red, something bloody. And I thought, oh, a Bloody Mary. And then I was like, hold the fucking phone, I'm Canadian. We don't do that here. Oh yes, all of this is going to one beautiful drink, and it's called a Caesar. A couple things to know about a Caesar. There are like a billion ingredients and a billion different ways you can make this drink. And I've also heard a billion different like Caesar origin stories. I have no idea who thought, yeah, clam, tomato, I want to drink that. Whoever you were, I think somebody in Calgary who's a chef from Italy or something. Thank you. If I wasn't cheap, I would fill this whole dish with celery salt, but I am cheap and I want this to last me forever. So instead of filling it and rimming it around, I'm just gonna rim it this way. Okay, I'm not so cheap that I don't want a good drink. I went to a cottage with my family for a week and I was drinking this a lot. And I think I forgot my vodka at the cottage, but I found this. Worcestershire. The best part of this is that it's also a snack. Snack and a drink. There's just something about a snack and a drink that gets me. Spicy. I just love it so much. I saw recently a YouTube video that was Irish people trying Canadian drinks, and somebody made them a Caesar, but they made them like the worst, most boring Caesar ever. I've seen Caesars where you get a lobster tail in your drink, you get a slice of pizza. I didn't have bacon. It's not true. I have bacon, I didn't want to put it in the drink. I have pepperettes. Today we're talking about Crave by Tracy Wolff. This book is basically reading a vampire Hallmark movie, and let me tell you, I love vampires and I love Hallmark movies. This book was marketed as a modern Twilight. I have a very interesting relationship with Twilight. I really love it, but I also can recognize its many, many flaws. If you're wondering why I'm dressed up like a Hufflepuff, the answer is because I am a Hufflepuff. But also, if I haven't posted it yet, I did film a very short, just for fun, Harry Potter video to tease some stuff that I'm gonna be doing later on, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I just didn't want to change. I had a great time reading this book. So basically what happens is we follow, oh my God, what is her name? I just call her Bella. That's not good. Grace! So we follow Grace, whose parents die. She goes to Alaska because there's a school there that her uncle teaches at. And he and her cousin are now the only family that she has, so she goes and stays with them. And I did vlog a little bit of reading it, so here's that. So, we've met Edward and Bella, and now we've met Black Jacob, and Bella's friend, Anna Kendrick, clearly has a crush on Black Jacob. And there's some kind of weird, thing with the Cullen group, and Black Jacob and Anna don't like him or something. I don't know. I misspoke there. Anna Kendrick is her cousin. I also forget the cousin's name because I just called her Anna. And the Cullens are the Order. We learned that they're called the Order, and they're like Edward Sullivan's little crew. I really don't want Black Jacob to have a crush on Bella and Anna Kendrick to have a crush on Black Jacob, and that be the thing that drives a wedge between Anna and Bella. The one thing I'll say for this book that Twilight definitely didn't have is it has a stronger female friendship between Anna Kendrick and Grace Swan. And Bella also pushed back with the male protagonist, with Jackson Cullen, a lot more than Bella ever did in Twilight. She was just like, oh, I'm along for the ride, I'm a stupid human. Grace does actually have more character to her, which is pretty cool. I'm at the end of chapter 3, and I don't know, guys. I was hopeful. In chapter 1, she's going to Alaska. Okay, her parents are dead. Very typical. We meet Edward, and he's very beautiful and kind of mean. And then
he's like super mean.
That was so dumb and weird. Why are you being mean? Just don't be mean. And the reason for him being mean is so dumb. There will be spoilers in this, but I'll warn you before they happen because, you know, that's polite, right?
And she thinks it's hot. And then they like have this weird moment that's not mind reading, but I guess like kind of is. And they like acknowledge each other's pain because they can't acknowledge their own. And now he's like, I don't understand you. If you're not gonna leave, watch your back. Which is like, I don't understand. Sometimes when I read books, I'm like, how am I not a bestseller?
Seriously though.
My book is better than this book. Very different genre though.
Not that different.
This is kind of gross.
Finished a workout, eating a tuna salad, reading Crave, and I just screamed at the book. Fuck right off. Fuck right off. Because the vampire just sent her a copy of Twilight. I am so done.
It has also just occurred to me that Edward is probably a vampire, and he's out in the daytime, and I hate that.
So I said probably there because we didn't actually learn anything for so long, and Grace was so dumb.
This is getting dumb. I'm 114 pages in, almost at chapter 15, and Bella still doesn't know she's at a monster school, and everybody at the school is trying to hide it from her. But like, she lives here now. She's gonna find out, and Black Jacob is inviting her to a snowball fight, and Anna Kendrick is like, oh, let's go, but never trust a trail off, and I don't know. I'm assuming he's a werewolf or something, but I'm kind of getting sick of waiting. Like, I'm ready to know. I'm ready for her to know.
This is where the spoilers start, and if you want to watch my spoiler-free review at the end, please go to this timestamp, and it will be safe if you want to read this book without spoilers. I'm skipping a lot of stuff, so even if you are watching this full review with spoilers, I think if you like Hallmark movies and vampires, you will have a great time reading this book. So I am skipping over a lot.
I just got it! Black Jacob is a dragon! That's cool! I knew I was gonna love this. It's so trashy!
So trashy. I'm just gonna... Why do I even have this on here? Get out of here. So I opened this book and I'm already annoyed because it starts at chapter 0. What is that? It's like floors in Europe. You don't enter onto the first floor and... I don't get it. On the first page of chapter 1, which I guess is chapter 2, because there's chapter 0, they refer to civil twilight, which I have no idea, like I'd never heard that term before, and to, in a new teen vampire novel, immediately say twilight, I was kind of like, okay, cool, I know where this is going. Skyscraper cheekbones, full red lips, a jaw so sharp it could cut stone, smooth alabaster skin, and his eyes, a bottomless obsidian that see everything and show nothing. Sure, when I was a teenager, I would have loved that. I mean, I'm in love with Edward Cullen, so why not Jackson Sullen? Page 23. When did I become the heroine in some YA romance? Okay. I rolled my eyes a lot while I was reading this. The chapters are so excessively named, and I actually don't like chapter names in general. I find them very distracting, but like, there's never a parachute around when you need one. You make the earth shake under my feet and everywhere else too. Vampires, dragons, and werewolves, oh my. Just chapter 20 is fine. Okay, legit question to you guys. How do you feel about authors writing in italics? I think I italicized one word in my entire first novel, and I think it's because 2 editors told me I should and I didn't want to. I hate italics. I feel like if you can't say what you want to say and emphasize the right word without italics, then you're not using the right language. Just change your language. But I'm also a bit of a bitch, I guess. So this book italicized thought, and I feel that that's just unnecessary. Like, I think I don't need the italics. Like, I feel like that's kind of dumbing it down for me, but also I'm not a teenager, so maybe they do feel like they need it. And then he sends her the copy of Twilight. I addressed that already. It was It was stupid. So what happened a lot in this book is the book is what, 570 some pages long? I feel like I read 3/4 of this book because 1/4 of it is Bella Grace's like internal monologue that would go on for pages at times, and I just skipped it. I just kind of skimmed until I found dialogue and I felt something important was happening. I have a tab here, but I don't remember why. Besides, just because he scared me doesn't mean I can't appreciate how sexy he is for you, she says in a deliberately deep and funny voice. Plus that gorgeous bite mark he left on your neck. Swoon! Oh my god! Right! He bites her, and it was so weird. Like, that it's a visible bite mark and he doesn't heal her, even though I'm pretty sure he can. I actually don't know if he can because he closed one wound, but then the nurse vampire didn't close the wound that she left on Bella Grace's neck. And just like, so you're marked. He branded you. Swoon. Oh, Macy. Macy is Anna Kendrick's name. Macy is the cousin's name. I do quite like their relationship. Like, it's very playful. It's odd because Macy has a boyfriend and like the whole school is very cliquey, but she also has this weird attraction to Black Jacob, Dragon Jacob, Flint. And that is never really resolved. And then Macy and Bella Grace start being like protected by the order on the command of Jackson Sullen. It was kind of messy. It felt kind of messy. Oh, Jackson can fly. Man, if there's one thing I hate about more modern vampire stories, it's that like you become a vampire and you're actually just a superhero. Like there's no downside. Like that Jackson can walk around in the daylight that we don't learn until like back here is because if you drink animal blood exclusively, you can be out in the daylight. But as soon as you drink human blood, like there's something special about human blood that makes you susceptible to sunlight. And I'm like, why? Why is there a difference? I mean, the easy answer, and this is an answer I give in my books a lot because I do think like there's a part of it that is legit. It's just like magic. Magic, that's why. So, okay, this is part of her mythology. I just think it's dumb because I don't like that vampires, if you ever see a vampire in the sunlight, I don't like it. No use crying over spilt tea. Oh my gosh. So there is this character, this antagonist character who is Jackson's dead brother's girlfriend. Leah. That's the girlfriend's name, Leah. And she's super shady. Through the whole book, she's super shady. And nobody thinks that she's shady. Jackson killed his brother because his brother basically wanted to rule all of humanity. Like, he felt that vampires should be the ruling class. And Jackson killed him. And Jackson is super, super powerful. So at some point, she tries to make up with Jackson. She gives him this tea, and it's just like very obvious that something is going on, and the characters just don't see it. And that's kind of how it happened too with Bella Grace. Like, she didn't pick up until like here in the book, like 2/3 of the way through, that she was at some kind of vampire or magic school, and her uncle just like didn't tell her, and it's stupid. I mean, she poisons him and stuff happens. Whatever. I'm always sad when I finish the salt rim before I finish the drink. Ah, my skirt. I have a problem with snacks and drinks. I could probably have a seizure every day of my life. Probably not very healthy. Chapter 59 is called Carpe Kill'em. Shut up. I hate you guys. Vampires drink water just like every other mammal on the planet, and tea is basically hot water. You start adding milk and chocolate, it's a different story. Oh yeah? That makes sense. And the strawberry? Yeah. So there was this scene where like there's a party for Bella Grace, even though nobody likes her, nobody wants her there, and she doesn't like it there, and she doesn't like anybody except her cousin, Macy Anna Kendrick. And all the students are at this party for her, which is like, I don't even know how many students go to this school, and I don't even know why they go there, because apparently we learn in like the last chapter that Jackson is like 200 years old or something, so no idea why he's at school in the first place. They're all super cliquey, nobody's talking to her, and then Jackson really rudely, for some reason, walks in, sits down, and eats a strawberry intimidatingly at her. How do you eat a strawberry in an intimidating manner? I want somebody to do that. Can somebody do that? Can one of you guys tag me in a story on Instagram of you intimidatingly eating a strawberry? I would very much like to see that. So yeah, he was sick for days. Great. Oh, the dumbest part of the book. Look how far in I am. and I'm back to chapter 0. Why? Because there's a chapter 65, and we've been at Bella Grace's perspective the whole time, and then chapter 0. Jackson. Why are we back at chapter 0? I don't know why that's not just chapter 66. And then it, this is maybe my favorite part of the entire book. End of book 1. But wait, there's more. Read on for an exclusive look at 3 chapters from Jackson's point of view. Nothing will ever be the same. These chapters don't have number headings. And so basically the last 3 chapters of the book, we go back in time to like chapter 3, chapter 10, chapter whatever, and see those moments from Jackson's perspective, which is fine if Stephanie Meyer hadn't written an entire book, Twilight from Edward's perspective, that I cannot wait until it comes out. I am so excited, but she did. And so this is like, okay, whatever. The idea that nothing will ever be the same is so... Don't get me wrong. I had a great time reading this book. And as I've said before, I'm a very slow reader. So that I finished even 3/4 of this book is, for me, I feel very accomplished. I did really like the short chapters. That made me feel very accomplished, and I think it was motivating for me to continue to read. I also really liked the large print of this. I didn't love the ending. It was a cliffhanger, but it wasn't one that grabbed me. I will probably read the next book just because I like vampires and Hallmark movies, but not because I actually care to know what happens next. There's romance and vampires. Like, that will get me. Just like every single Christmas Hallmark movie. They all get me. I love it. There was a pretty big difference in between Edward Cullen and Jackson Sullen. His name isn't actually Sullen. I think it's Vega. Because he and Bella Grace text a lot, which is cute and nice. Like, we get to know him and she gets to know him. And with the pushback she gives him sometimes, like, there's just more, it's more of a real relationship. All like they build something, like they're friends, you know, and that's cool. I give this book, 3 out of 5 Harry Potter lightning bolts because I think that I had a great time reading it, but it's not a good book. You know, like, I'm never gonna give a Hallmark movie 5 stars, but I'm gonna give it like a solid 3, maybe even a 3.5 if Chad Michael Murray's in it. I will say that, like, look at this cover. It looks like it should be a Twilight book, and I find that so odd. Like, why not try and distinguish yourself a little bit more instead of just trying to ride the coattails of Stephanie Meyer? Love yourself, Tracy Wolf. Be your own woman. Salt room is almost gone. Sometimes I put the extra celery salt that's on the plate, I just put it right in the drink. My 2 questions. Number 1, if you could be a vampire, would you? And number 2, if you have read Crave. If you have read Crave, I'm going to assume you've also read Twilight, and I want to know what you think comparatively of the 2. Should Crave have marketed itself as the new Twilight, or should it have tried to strike out on its own and be something else? All right, I'm booking out. I'm so sad it's almost over. But until next time, may the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and don't let the muggles get you down. Question 3. If you're not Canadian. If you're Canadian, I'm going to assume you've had a Caesar and you like it, or, I mean, somebody didn't make it for you right. If you're not Canadian, have you ever had a Caesar? Did you like it? Better yet, when you're allowed to come here, come and we can go out for one together.